Welcome back. So today I want to break down something that I feel like nobody is explaining in plain English, and it directly affects whether you can afford to buy a home right now. Let's start with what's happening in the world. Back in late February, the U.S. attacked Iran, and almost immediately, Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the world's most important oil highway. About 20% of all the oil on the planet flows through that one narrow waterway. When that closed, oil prices went through the roof. And here's the thing most people don't connect. When oil prices spike, everything gets more expensive. Manufacturing, shipping, groceries, all of it. And that's inflation. When inflation goes up, mortgage rates go up. It's that simple. So here's what's happened to rates. At the very beginning of 2026, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate dropped below 6% for the first time since 2022. It's looking pretty good. Buyers were starting to come back and the market was thawing out. It felt like we were finally turning the corner. And then the war started. 2 days later, rates have been climbing ever since. As of today, June 3rd, we're sitting at about 6.5% on a 30-year fix. Fannie Mae just released their forecast, and they're calling for rates to stay around 6.3% through the end of 2026 and most of 2027. That's a really big revision from where they were just 3 months ago. The Fed hasn't cut rates a single time this year, not even once. And here's the wild part. Some traders on Wall Street are now actually betting on a rate hike before the year is over. So that tells you how serious inflation has gotten. Now, there is a ceasefire deal being negotiated. The U.S. and Iran are reportedly close to a 60-day agreement, but it still needs Trump's signature, and fighting is still happening, and experts are warning that even if the Strait of Hormuz reopens, it's going to be slow and it'll be a partial process. There's infrastructure damage, depleted oil inventories, security concerns, so it's not like you switch a flip and everything goes back to normal. So what are we watching? Here's your economic calendar for the week, this week and next week. This week, the big one is the jobs report dropping Friday. If the labor market starts showing real cracks, that'll give the Fed a reason to cut the federal interest rate. And that would be good news for buyers. Next week, on June 11th, keep your eyes peeled for CPI. That's the inflation report. If that number comes in hot again, rates are going to go higher. But if it's cooled, then we could finally see some relief. And the wild card, if a real lasting ceasefire deal gets signed with Iran and that strait reopens, oil prices drop, inflation cools, and the Fed gets covered to cut, and mortgage rates follow. That's the trifecta. But until we see all three of those things line up, the honest answer is we're probably stuck in the 6 to 6.5 range for a while. If you're a buyer right now, the play is to stay ready, stay pre-approved, and don't try to time the market perfectly. If you're waiting for 5% rates, guys, that's like a 2027 conversation at the earliest. I post updates on this stuff every week, so follow along, share this with someone who's trying to figure out whether now is the right time to buy, and I'll see you in the next one.